This is the Chill Podcast with Josiah.
And Gabe. And Kylie.
Kylie!
Kylie's back.
Hello.
Sadly, Seth was not able to make it to the podcast again. Hey, how about
Which
we
makes
call...
it a chill podcast because
That's
Seth
true.
always escalates things.
And it's also a 9:13 on a Sunday. And also, by the way, if you're listening to this on the day it comes out on Monday, this was recorded yesterday.
Yes.
Last
I'm
night, to
gonna
be
have
precise.
last night. I'm gonna have quite the time editing this to get it up by 5.
It might just come out raw and wiggling.
Raw and wiggling. Anyway, I was thinking we should
I've seen
text
too
or
many
not text.
memes.
We should. I'm gonna call Gabe or not Gabe. I'm gonna call Seth
Gabe's
and
right here.
see
You
if he can
call.
pray for us for communion. Okay.
Oh, he'll be mad because he's busy doing something, I'm sure.
Sleeping. He shouldn't answer the phone if he's busy. Dork.
Yeah.
He would.
Yeah,
though.
didn't answer
He
my
would, I
phone
know he
last
would.
time. I called him today. Yeah, we had quite
called
the
him a
rave,
loser.
so now we're tired. We had some friends over, and we were raving out in here. We listened to Blue Dabba Dee Dabba Die.
Oh,
Which-
that's a good song.
Which came out 25 years ago.
So I don't.
Okay.
It was this morning. That song was sort of stuck in my head, except it was the meme version of that song, which is "I'm blue. If I was Steve, I would die. If I was Steve, I would die." Yeah. If I was Steve, I
What?
would die.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Anyway, Kylie, do you want to pray? For communion, bless the blood and the bread, and also make sure you ask for forgiveness for our sins for last podcast.
Yeah, because that wasn't uploaded.
I never sin. So
Also, we just have to ask for forgiveness after every podcast because every podcast is a sin.
I don't think that's how that works.
No, I don't think that's true. Anyway,
The percentage of sinning increases the more chaotic
the podcast
are.
isn't a sin. We just happen to sin on the podcast.
I don't know. I don't remember
Is
anything like
asking
that.
annoying questions a sin? Josh, can you answer that, please? Is asking annoying questions a sin?
He has 4 little girls. I think that he would say yes, absolutely, it is a sin.
Okay, prayer.
All right. Dear Jesus, thank you for your body that is this pie right now.
JJ's Bakery.
Yes, thank you for JJ's Bakery and Boston cream pie and whatever kind of pie.
I got a
Josiah
strawberry and cream.
and Gabe have.
Got a classic apple pie.
Nice. But that's not nearly as good as Nanny's, but never mind.
No, not nearly as good.
And this very watery, weird juice stuff. What is it?
Happy drink.
Happy drink.
A happy drinks. We got
Lord,
pretty
forgive
sure.
us
orange
for
flavor.
whatever this is that we were using for communion,
I
and protect the lining of our stomachs.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And help me not to go into a diabetic coma. Amen.
Forgive us of our sins of last podcast. Amen.
Amen. Ah,
Don't drop the pie.
don't drop the body. Don't we do the
Don't.
body first?
Okay, we can do the body first. Wash it down with the blood.
Exactly.
I'm pretty sure that's how it's supposed to go.
God thought of everything. So you gotta, how to eat these is you slide it out of the box and then use the box as a handle.
Yep.
We're eating these cold, by the way, because they're better cold.
You heat them up, they have a weird aftertaste.
Well, Boston cream pie isn't supposed to be warm anyway.
No.
And technically it's not a pie, it's a cake, but they have it in a fried pie crust. I can't taste the filling in mine. I need to take one more bite.
Oh,
That's better.
we need some munching noises.
Munch, munch. That's disgusting.
I'm so sorry.
I just spilt juice on my phone.
I'm not. You guys are purposely listening to this. You deserve it.
Kind of true. You know what was
Really
up.
long.
Either that or you like this kind of content. In which case, I'm happy for you.
Juice tastes like water. Like slightly flavored. It's slightly more flavored than
gosh.
LaCroix.
Yeah, this is flat LaCroix, but slightly more flavored and sugary.
Uh-huh.
So this is what they take out of a LaCroix.
Yes. No, there would be more flavor.
It's got like a vitamin flavor to it.
Is it vitamins?
They just dissolve
Is
a
it?
Flintstone in it.
Yeah, that would
Water,
have more flavor.
High fructose corn syrup, citric acid, natural flavor, artificial flavoring, yellow, dye, potassium sorbate, sodium benzenate,
I'm hearing
and glucose.
Sucralose.
Sucralose.
So this is basically just death in a bottle.
Yeah, I heard water and poison.
No, citric acid.
Oh, okay. Citric acid, then poison.
Water, poison, citric acid, poison.
Actually, sucralose. I think that one's not quite as bad as other sugars.
Okay, this tastes like watered down juice of a can of mandarin oranges, because we got the orange flavor.
Somewhere. I guess that's what that is.
Yeah.
Doesn't expire until September 23.
What?
This doesn't expire
Yeah.
Yeah. So September of next year.
That's good, because it's October.
Let's ferment it.
I don't think there's anything in here that can ferment. You have to have something natural.
Citric acid, maybe?
If
I don't
anything,
think you can ferment water.
If anything, the high fructose corn syrup maybe.
Yeah, that probably would.
Stop preservatives.
Yeah, so I don't know if it will. If it's stable for that, like if it's good for almost a year, I don't think it'll ferment very well.
I'm gonna be honest. That pie was gross.
What? Oh, we got the apple, though. I made the rookie mistake.
It tasted like
You know, the
something
apple's
that
bad.
you'd get out of an MRE.
You know, the apple's pretty bad. This is decent. It's kind of like a donut. Pretty reminiscent
It
of a
is.
donut.
Yeah.
That's how I think. I was expecting when I first had them 2 years ago during 2020, because we were healthy for several years, and then 2020 happened, and we went, you know what? We need some quarantine snacks, and so we just tried like everything in our local supermarket. And we got these pies, and they were delicious. I thought they were gonna be terrible, and they turned out pretty good, and now I like them.
Didn't we get them for a picnic?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
we
had a
got them
picnic
for
in the
home group picnic.
park. Damn.
Because you can gather as many people as you want as long as it's outside.
Uh-huh.
In the state of Missouri during COVID, in like July, after the
Not to get
lockdowns.
political here, but what is a COVID?
Look, I don't want to be offensive, but what the heck is oatmeal?
You know what? I don't even know, to be honest.
It's oats
Like, I
and
know it's
like
oats.
dried milk.
No, it's just oats, and
it's
then
just
you
oats.
cook it in.
Oh, you cook it in milk. I've never cooked oatmeal, let alone I think eat it.
So, like
Actually, cook it
oatmeal
in
is
water. You
oats,
add milk
But
to it.
where do oats come from? Where do oats come from?
It's like a 7.
Thank you.
Like when oats grow, do they grow kind of like wheat,
I think
or do
so.
they grow
Yeah.
more like peanuts?
Like wheat.
I don't know how peanuts grow. I'm pretty sure it's like.
Well, they don't grow like oats because that's stupid.
What are you saying? Maybe there is drugs in this happy drink.
Like-
Are you high right now?
It is the essence of happiness. It just tastes like contentness
You did.
in orange essence.
Yeah, this was actually not intended for us to buy. This is for drug dealers to buy. And
Yeah,
you boil
it's
it
marketed
down.
for children, but only purchased by crackheads.
Is this
You
like one of
boil
the?
it down and you get crystal meth out of it.
Is this like one of those things people give out on Halloween, and it's gonna go
Yeah, it
all over
totally is.
Facebook? Like, don't beware of these. People are giving out
Well, here's the thing.
drugs to kids.
So on the news, like earlier this week, they're like warning people about how this Halloween is going to be like the most deadly Halloween ever because of all the fentanyl that's going to be in candies.
How do they know? Are
Yeah,
they putting it there?
That was my question. How do you know? They're like, oh, well, there's a bunch of people smuggling in like these colorful, like looking cubes of fentanyl, and they're smuggling them in like random boxes, like Lego boxes, and then I'm guessing they take those cubes and then like they put it into candies that they make. And I'm like, okay, first of all, what? Yeah, why would you make these and give them out to children? Like,
Right.
is this out of malicious evil intent, or is this because you're so?
It's the
Is
CIA.
your brain? Yeah, it's like, is your brain so fried that you just don't understand the difference between candy and drugs?
Or it is the CIA just trying to poison children.
Yeah, or is it our government
For
trying to kill people?
legal reasons, this is a joke.
Joke, joke.
Well, it's not the first time our government has killed its citizens.
It's a joke.
It's a joke.
It's a very serious joke that you should be aware of.
Okay, so final
I don't think
review
they're
of
actively trying to kill us, no, but I think that they're not honest when bad things happen.
Well, anyway.
final review of Happy Drink. 2 out of 10. Drinkable but not likable.
Okay, what is a 10? What defines a 10?
Okay, a 10 would be like. See. Okay, here they have 2 ways of doing this. We could do it so like a 10 is like literally impossible, but a 9 is like what most people would do with a 10. And so I would, if we do that, then I would give the Calypso lemonade that we had that I absolutely adore. I would give that a 9, but I wouldn't give it a 10.
I'd give Calypso probably a 7. I think they're really good.
Yeah. And then I think I'd give like Pepsi Nitro. I give that like a maybe I think I'd give that a 7.5.
Okay.
That's okay.
Yeah, I like Peppy Night or Pepsi Nitro. It's funny, I like it a lot, but the score is gonna say I don't like it that much. I'm gonna give it a 6.
Yeah.
I'm saying
That's
that
reasonable.
I do like it. It's really good.
Yeah, I like it a lot, but for some reason, it's just not.
If they come out with more flavors of Peppy Night,
Dude, regular
have my
Peppy
interest.
Night is like a 4. Peppy Night Vanilla gets at least 2 points.
but what if they had a vanilla cherry Peppy Night?
I'm not a big fan of cherry, but if they did like maybe a vanilla orange, I think I'd lose my mind.
Do you remember when Coke did an orange? soda?
Yes.
Where
They
did that
still have
go?
it
Oh, they do.
in those like machines,
Oh yeah, like at like
Coke
fast
machines.
food.
Yeah.
It is really good. Here's the thing, my 10, and I know like this isn't a drink that anyone can drink in America because you have to be, you know, of age, but I say a 10 for me is like one of my favorite honey meads.
Yeah.
Like a 10 is one of my favorite honey meads. And so this would probably get a 3. A 1 would be like have you ever had like hot chocolate that just tastes like water?
Yeah.
Yes.
Like hot water. That's a 1.
Hot water is the worst thing.
No.
Hot
Not
water
hot
bottle?
water, but hot chocolate that tastes like water because there's not enough flavoring. That's lower than plain water or even hot water alone because it's a deception.
I think what's worse than that is water that's been like brought to like a boiling point in like a car in a plastic bottle.
Yes.
Like you take like already bad water, you take like Dasani, and then you put it in a car for like 8 hours, and it gets like in like summer, it's ridiculously hot, and it has that plasticky boiled water, hot water just nastiness. That is the worst thing.
But have you had that
You'd probably
flavor
drink,
combined with
than like sewage.
lemonade?
Okay, so you replace the water with lemonade, or you mix them. Why did my Siri activate?
Okay, have you ever had a lemonade or a lemon drink in general
Okay.
that got hot in the car, like really hot?
No.
I have, and I'll tell you what. It was a one-time experience. It was weird, but I kind of liked it.
Yeah.
Probably
Interesting.
explains.
It
It probably
sounds-
explains a lot about me.
Isn't hot Pepsi a thing, or is it hot
It's
Dr.
hot
Pepper?
Dr. Pepper.
That's right.
And hot Kool-Aid.
Well, that's not actually a thing,
No,
but
I tried it. It's pretty good.
I made this for you. Shout out to Julian Smith there.
Speaking of hot beverages, what's great about honey mead, even though I prefer it at like a room temperature, they also can serve it hot as a seasonal beverage.
I want to talk.
Wait, what?
Honey mead.
Oh yeah, yes.
It's more of like a European
I like-
kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
But apparently Africa, there's like, I think Ethiopia makes their own honey mead, and I think that may have been what I had last time,
It's good.
and it was pretty good. I was very
Ethiopian honey mead.
impressed. I think it was. It really was not very specific at all
You
on
know-
where it was coming from. It just said somewhere in Africa, and I was like, oh, well, thanks.
Yeah.
Honey
Thanks
mead.
for-
Saying honey mead is like saying non bread. Because non means bread, and honey mead is made out of honey.
Yeah, but if I just say mead, most people are going to be like, what's mead? I don't know what that is. But saying honey
It's
mead, it's like,
Alcohol made out of honey, people.
yeah, it's basically like making wine from honey.
Yeah.
And some of you might think, "Oh, that sounds gross," and that just
delicious,
means
man.
you
I
haven't
mean,
had
I've
it.
never tried it. No, it's actually kind of nasty. I'm not gonna lie. It's really strong. At least the stuff I had, but there's
Was
probably
it
better.
was it the stuff I brewed last year?
I mean, I've never had it. No, I didn't have yours.
The stuff I
Oh,
brewed,
That
it
was strong.
Yeah, because I was like, oh, it suggests this much stuff to turn it alcoholic. What is it called? The yeast. And so I added slightly more. And then they said, oh, yeah, you only need to, like, brew it for, like, a couple months. And I was like, couple months? 6 months. So,
That's
That was
why.
a fun
I
Christmas.
had like half a cup and I was like, oh, okay.
I drank a bottle.
That was a fun Christmas.
No, it was not.
No,
I wanted
kidding.
to die. I wanted death.
It was a bet that not because of the alcohol, but yeah, that was a bad Christmas overall.
I think it would have
I
been
had a
great
good
if-
time.
I think it would have been great if I was under different circumstances, but otherwise,
That would have been. This Christmas is gonna be pretty snazzy, I think.
I really hope so.
Last
I need a good Christmas.
I gave you my
Heart.
heart. The very next day, you gave it away.
Sold it on Craigslist.
Yes, yes.
Actually, it's called Angie now.
That's
it
a
really?
whole different company,
No,
Josiah.
no. Angie's List and Craigslist combined.
What?
They did a merger, and then they just changed it to Angie.
Actually, that was a good move on Craigslist's point, because Craigslist was just plain sketch.
Oh yeah, of course. But
I think Angie's List bought Craigslist.
so.
Which also, who's all these people with lists? And, like, what's up with that?
Yeah, I used to be on both of those, actually, Craigslist and Angie's List, with my house cleaning business.
Now you probably don't get emails from that because they switched.
No, I don't.
Here's the thing, though. Do you know somebody that bought a church off of Craigslist?
No.
I do.
Tell that story.
Okay, so I was going to a Bible study in high school, and I'd go to Science Hill for this Bible study. It's
It's just a city in Kentucky.
yeah,
Right? Yeah.
and it was at the Spiro's house.
Shout out to the Spiros.
Yeah, awesome family. And so it was great going to the Bible study, worshiping, and I honestly learned more about the Holy Spirit and my relationship with God in that Bible study than I ever have in a church. It's fantastic. And there, he would go to like these pastoral meetings, Our pastors were like talking whatever about, pastoral stuff.
That's a
And
fun
then,
place to just be.
Yeah. And then they'd like talk about how like, oh, well, I have this many members and this is our goal, this is our plans. And our Bible study had more members than some of the churches there
Yeah.
that were like
Mhm.
represented.
Our
Yeah.
the small group that we used to go to had more than the church that we were going to at the time.
Yep.
Like significantly, like multitudes more.
Yeah.
But so what happened is eventually after a couple years they're like, hey, we need to get a church. And so there's this like really, really old church that was built, I don't know how long, maybe 100 years ago. And it had like all the stucco, paste, like wall stuff on the back. I'm gassy, sorry. On the walls, like the exterior.
All the fentanyl in these happy drinks.
Probably. And so they bought the church building off of Craigslist, and it was like being used as a furniture store before that because like Science Hill is a strange place. What was funny is that they were actually in like a bidding battle between like it was like the church like Bible study group and like this crazy lady that wanted to turn it into a house. And by crazy lady, she was an actual crazy lady. Like insane. She would actually like go to the church afterwards, like after we bought it, and like go to our services and then just say crazy stuff and accuse people of being like evil or whatever, or just like ask why God kills babies or something stupid like that because they don't know what they're talking about.
Yeah.
And eventually the pastor's like,
Interesting.
okay, this crazy person is like actually disrupting like the church.
Yeah.
You are not welcome here because you are crazy. You're an actual crazy person.
We're disrupting church.
Go to a different church, or just, if that's not your thing, if you're just here to be a jerk, don't go to church.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's one of those mess up things. But it's kind of funny that he bought a church off of Craigslist.
Yes.
That's pretty funny.
So now you know someone that bought a church off of Craigslist.
Now I have a story for the next time I meet new people and I can be like, and they're talking about their church. And I'm like, well, I know a guy who bought a church off of Craigslist.
Yeah. I've gotten inappropriate emails because of my Craigslist listing. So, do you want me to elaborate?
No.
Okay, how inappropriate are we
No.
talking about?
Like no pictures. So it was a house cleaning business, right? So I've gotten ones where like, or actually it was a text from this one guy. He was like, he just texts me, Kylie, question mark. I'm like, yes, this is Kylie's house cleaning business or something like that. He goes, yeah, do you do anything other than clean houses? I'm like, nope, just clean, or what else do you do, or something like that. And I knew what he was meaning. I was like, nope, just clean houses. And he's like, oh, okay. But the more explicit one was an email I got, and this guy was like, do you do topless cleanings and more? I didn't even dignify that with a response. So that just got deleted.
Oh.
Yeah,
This world is terrible.
it is. It is. The thing is, I didn't even have a picture of myself. I could have been like a 60-year-old lady.
You should have just taken like a photo of the cleaning lady from Family Guy and just had that up there.
There we go.
I think you'd get copyright strike for that one.
Probably.
I don't know,
should've-
not if you like deep fry it or like something like that.
I should have taken a picture of some random old crusty lady and put it up there.
I just find a stock image or something.
And then
Who do
I
you know
show
that's
up and
old
they're
and
like,
crusty?
oh, well, I don't think we should name any names.
I'm joking. Of course.
What?
It's like, who do we know that's old and crusty?
I know a few.
I don't think I would name any names.
Like
On that
Seth
one.
is definitely old and crusty, but
Yeah. So we got like Seth.
Oh, I should have put a picture of Seth on there.
yes.
Gee, old and crusty.
Mr. Krabs.
Yes.
Your dad. He's pretty old and crusty.
Our dad.
I don't know. He's pretty athletic. My dad still playing tennis.
Probably put a picture of Katie, but not Seth's Katie, other Katie. She's old and crusty.
No. That would definitely still elicit the same emails.
I know. I just want to roast people.
Oh my gosh.
I just wanna
Actually, I
roast my
have a
friends.
story of when
Eli's
Katie was one
probably
of my
old and
students.
See, Eli's probably old and crusty.
Well, no, he's just crusty.
Eli is Eli is crusty. So Cyrus is crustier. Okay, I'm calling you out, Cyrus. That whole like, I have a disease that makes my skin dry. That's whack, bro. Just be moist. What do you mean you got? What is that?
I don't know.
It's
But
not asthma. Is it asthma?
Eczema?
Eczema.
his entire body is just eczema.
I actually have no idea if it is eczema or not, but he is a dry boy.
His hands look like they belong to like an ancient wizard.
He is constantly flaking. We're roasting Cyrus. He's so nice.
Well, no, it's like I grew up, having my own room, but
Yeah.
My brother's room was right next to mine, and pretty much any time their door was open was when Cyrus like just got out of the shower and he's just like in his underwear and just like basically using an entire bottle of lotion to like moisturize his dry skin. Here's the problem. I don't think that he had like an eczema problem or however you want to pronounce that. The problem is that they just took really hot showers. Like
Maybe.
Like Cyrus took hot showers, and then Eli took even hotter showers. He came out of the shower looking like a lobster every single time.
I've seen it. He is red as like a Christmas light.
You know what they say about people who take hot showers? That they're using the heat of the shower to compensate for their loneliness.
Like that does explain a lot.
That's why I just sit and let the warmth
Yes.
ache me.
You see, I'm
Same.
fully aware of it, and I do the same. It's okay, Josiah. It only lasts forever.
What? Wow.
That got
Jeez.
dark. No, I'm joking, but also dealing with issues.
I'll find a partner.
Yeah, you'll just be 45 and
A lady friend.
By the way, guys out there, I'm still single.
Still single. Still.
ready to mingle.
I don't know. Oh, this morning, our pastor, he was talking about, like being ready for the wedding, the bride of Christ and all that, wedding and all that. And he was like, whoever went on a date and like just didn't prepare, like you put your best foot forward and you like dress all nice and whatever. The whole time I'm wanting to speak up and go, you haven't been on the dates I've been on. Because, man, I have seen the worst.
See, I think he's right, but at the same time, I also feel like people should like put their worst foot forward. Because it's like, listen, this is me on my worst days. If you like me after this, you're a keeper. If you can put up with me on my worst days, you're a keeper.
Maybe not on the first date, because on the first date,
You shouldn't, but
you want them to be like, oh, they're taking this seriously and they actually care and
yep.
want to impress me.
it's true.
But, yes, there should be a point where you go, okay, this is how I actually am and how I actually dress and stuff. See the girl should go without makeup or whatever, but yeah.
Yeah.
I say when you see a girl that is obviously wearing too much makeup, that's a red flag.
Yeah. I have not met a girl that I liked that wore too much makeup, to be honest.
Granted, I kind of know where it comes from, at least sometimes. Usually it's a confidence issue.
Sometimes they're just artistic and like using their face as a canvas.
Okay, that's different. That's kind of cool. The difference is, are they skilled enough to do it to where it looks okay?
Yeah, that's true.
Because if it's like you painted like, some like if you painted the Starry Night on your face, I'd be dazzled and impressed and be like, okay, yeah, I'll date you for like forever, because that's amazing.
Date forever. You're not going to marry them
Well,
ever.
that's what
Well,
marriage
obviously
is.
not,
Forever.
Kylie. Gosh.
Oh, okay. Gabe doesn't believe in marriage anymore.
Yeah, I've just been broken down.
Oh my gosh. Like your manager.
Oh my
What?
gosh, yes, my old manager. She got divorced once and she's been with her boyfriend for like ever. I think she's like 15 years, but she won't ever get married
Oh my
again.
gosh.
Yeah, she doesn't want to ever get married again because that didn't work
But
out for her.
she's been with the same guy dating for 15 years.
Yes.
Are they living together?
Yes.
What's the
What?
point?
I
I-
know. I
What is
know.
the
Like,
point?
just add that piece of paper, man. Come on.
Like, okay, granted, the government has no business in marriage, in my personal opinion.
Right.
So, honestly, as far as like spiritual stuff goes, they're already married. At
I
least that's how I
guess.
feel.
I don't know. I mean, it may if you've said vows before God and be like, I'm marrying this person,
Yeah.
then yeah, sure. I don't know that they did that.
Well, I don't think they did that.
Probably not. Although she claims to be a Christian. So
Well, I don't think she made vows and was like, I'm marrying this person.
probably not.
But yeah, I guess
Yeah.
that could work if you don't have to have the piece of paper to be married.
No. She
It's
was
just
also kinda
sometimes like if you're in the
superstitious.
army.
It's
or
just
something,
another
it's-
thing that
yeah.
the government could look at and be like, oh, yeah, we can tax that.
Yeah.
Tax that-
Actually, you get benefits
yeah,
for
you
being
get
married.
benefit. It's
so-
actually
Yeah, it's supposed to help you,
actually a pretty good
but
idea
it
to
also
get married
screws you
financially.
over because
I
of
heard
other
that in
things.
Australia, it actually you basically get penalized for being married. Like
What?
the way their taxes are set up, it's like really bad. So that's why a lot of people in Australia just live together and don't get married.
That's crazy. In,
Yeah.
in
Well,
Finland,
Australia
they
is
pay-
also like the shadow realm of the world. It's like everything wants to kill you. The government doesn't want you to defend yourself, and
Uh-huh.
kangaroos are just gonna drop kick
Well,
you.
and yet I think they had a time where they paid you for having more kids because their population was low.
See, Finland. I think it's Finland. It's some Nordic
Now they're
country.
just importing their
They
citizens from other countries.
they give you like a month or two off after you're married. That's
Mhm.
like standard. Everyone gets that.
Hear this, America?
and-
You need to up your standards.
Yes.
And okay, on that, yes, but the government will also pay you like 2K. for getting married.
Dang.
They give you honeymoon money.
Yeah, they give you like a bunch of
Wait,
honeymoon
which
money.
country is this?
Like Finland or
I'm moving.
Switzerland.
I think
or
it is
something.
Finland.
I'm
but-
moving.
Yeah.
'Cause that sounds amazing.
And also, you get like something else. What was it? You get other benefits. Obviously, you get like free healthcare stuff, and gun ownership is, I believe, required
Dang.
for adults. Obviously,
Here's-
unless you're a felon.
Here's the question, though: would the government penalize both parties, meaning man and woman, if they go for a divorce?
No.
'Cause it's like shame on you for not working.
Well,
it out.
if you get a divorce in like, well, I don't think you can get a divorce in under a year.
they're like, you are legally required
like,
to try
you
it out.
have our.
I
you
think
can't.
that's the thing in the U.S. You can't get a divorce if you're not married for long enough in the U.S.
I don't
you
think
Oh
can
that's
yeah,
get
you
true.
can. It's,
annulment.
I think it's called an annulment,
Oh,
where it's
yeah.
like shortly afterwards, if you
Yeah,
realize
you
you
get
made
like
a
a
mistake,
week or
you
month
could be
period
like,
or
okay,
something.
Mhm.
no, never mind. But
Th-
that's like
and-
I think like within the first
Yeah,
3 months
but
or so.
That's like, that basically just acts like it never happened. So you wouldn't,
Yeah.
in Finland, as I assume, I'm not a specialist on this, but I assume if you get an annulment in Finland, you wouldn't get the money and you wouldn't get the time off.
You know
Right.
what else happens in Finland? If you graduate with your doctorate degree, they give you a sword and a top hat.
Yes, and it's amazing, and
Yeah.
oh my gosh,
Yeah.
it's so cool. They give you
Yeah,
a freaking
in America,
sword,
they
like a
just-
legit sword.
I don't know.
They give you a special robe and a funny hat. And some hoods.
And a piece of paper. In Finland, they give you a freaking sword, like actual battle-ready sword.
Yep.
America, you need to up your standards.
Yes. They also
American
have
culture,
a good school
get better,
system.
please.
Their school system in Finland is pretty cool.
Dude, the American
but-
school system is so broken.
Also, like, way too close to my microphone, which is what destroyed last episode. So I'm like, I'm sorry, y'all. I'm trying my best.
Do better, Josiah.
Get good.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yes.
So Finland's cool. I want to move there or
Literally
Switzerland.
cold.
Oh,
You
yeah,
know what?
it's very cold.
Here's the thing: when it's
Switzerland's better.
cold, you can always put on more layers. When it's hot, you can't really get cooler by skinning yourself. Like
There's
you're
water.
just-
You go find a pool.
Here's the thing. I don't like being wet. And also,
Go.
Switzerland is pretty much the same way, and they're just a little bit cooler than France
Oh, there you go.
because they're higher up.
Mm-hmm.
and yet France has nude beaches.
I heard the south of France actually gets pretty hot.
Yeah, I could imagine.
Yeah, it does because it's basically in the same level as Turkey.
Ah.
Mm. Yep.
Yeah, it is. In like Italy and Greece and those
You
countries.
see, one of the things that I think would be cool to do is to tour Europe, particularly to see the battlefields.
You would.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Because, like,
cool.
I'd like to see, like, trenches that were dug over
Yeah.
100 years ago, like,
During World War
pillboxes
One. Yeah.
from, like,
Yeah.
World War One and Two. Because, like, that stuff is cool. I like the history behind it, and it's like, oh, cool, this is interesting. But then I
Stuff from
realized
the
all the
battles,
cool
song-
stuff was,
the
like,
battles.
scraped off the earth and, like, put into museums or, like,
Mhm.
melted down and put into buildings.
Thanks, England. The only reason the Egyptian pyramids aren't in a British museum is because they physically can't move them.
Yeah,
You see, here's a fun fact. This comes from a Disney World employee.
Was it how the Queen of England actually killed Hitler?
No.
They had a king at that
Um,
time, didn't
So
they?
during World War II,
Yeah.
one?
Two.
two they had
They had it. It was her father.
right. She became queen in the 50s.
Yeah.
Yeah,
no, but
they had
that's how
king-
she
and they
became
had a
queen,
king
is 'cause
in
she
World War
assassinated
One.
Adolf Hitler.
That's the Queen Mother assassinated Adolf Hitler. Oh.
The Queen killed Adolf Hitler. That's the real truth that they don't tell you about is the Queen killed Adolf Hitler. They had like a duel, kind of like in Star Wars, is like Duel of Fates. Yeah, that's what happened.
That's what he was like. He kept saying that inside of our local supermarket where we got this stuff, just to get reactions from people.
It's hilarious.
Wait,
we
did you
made-
go to where I used to work?
Yes.
Yeah.
And we we got the cashier to chuckle.
That's
Nice.
pretty great. Cause so what brought that about is that they had a magazine on the end cap of the aisle, and
Yeah.
it said the life of Queen Elizabeth, and I was like, oh yeah, she's the one that killed Adolf Hitler, and 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 the cashier just like was like, what? It was so great.
It was really funny.
Nice. I'm sure they appreciated that. I know that they can use more joy in their lives because everybody there is miserable.
I can tell because they didn't want to talk about anything else than what's going on outside of work.
Yep.
And I'm like, you guys look
Depressed.
you're so bored.
Sundays are the
So-
worst too. They're just like, why are we working today? I want to go home.
I'm
Like,
so glad that I didn't work there.
I'm so glad I don't work there anymore.
So anyway, the story about Disney, they there was a Disney World employee, and they were that was incredible, Gabe. That, was a 10
good
out of 10.
Yeah.
Welcome.
It was a Disney employee, and they're like a customer service representative, and so they picked up the phone, and it was a British person, and they were like, hey, so we were thinking of going to this is Disney World they're talking about. We're thinking about going to LA or or like Houston or something. And then, I guess they called in the morning. They were like, "So do you think that we could go to Houston and then drive back and make it in time for our 6 o'clock dinner appointment?" And the representative was like, I don't think so. It's really far away." And they're like, "Oh no, it can't be that far away. It's in the same country." And the representative went, "Where are you from?" And the person was like, "Oh, we're from London." And I went, "Okay, so let me just look this up real quick. Okay, so the distance between here and Houston is the same as the distance from London to Istanbul." It went, "What?"
I've heard this story.
What? That's a continent. And we went, "Yeah, and that's only halfway across the country."
Yeah, it's true.
So-
Europeans have no. Okay, maybe Russians have an idea, but
Oh
like,
yeah, Russians.
yeah, but like especially Brits like have no concept of how big other countries can be.
Yeah.
Do. Granted, most of America is like cropland
True.
or
Yeah.
like just
There's not
straight
much
up
here.
open spaces. Like there's nothing there.
That's true.
But there's a lot of distance between everything. In fact, okay, so we spend an hour going to our pastor's house. Pretty much
Yeah.
driving to our pastor's house there and back. So 2 hour round trip. People in like Germany will like prepare like a bunch of stuff, like a bunch of snacks and a bunch of stuff for like a 3 hour drive.
Mm-hmm.
Like we'll go to like a 3 hour drive up to like, Kansas City or St. Louis
Or
or
over to
something,
Tulsa.
or to Tulsa, and it's like nothing.
Yeah.
Like
I-
we'll bring a bottle of water probably, but
a
that's
bottle
about
of
it.
water,
Oh.
maybe like trail mix if you want.
Yeah,
a
I like
snack.
having my Oreos, but usually I'm gonna if I'm going to Tulsa, I'm gonna stay a few days at the very least.
Yeah.
Except for when I was in school, then I'd have all my stuff.
But
But
People
yeah.
in Germany will be like, "Okay, so this is the roadmap where you like this is where we're gonna be going, like this is the roads we need to be using," and like all this stuff. And I heard this from a YouTuber was saying they were in Germany and they had a YouTuber friend and their dad was like preparing all this stuff and like, okay, basically like an American dad would be for like a family vacation where you're gonna be driving for like a day
Right.
for a 4 hour drive or like 5 hour drive. And it was like the American YouTuber was like, "This is nothing. Why are you preparing so much?
So, like
You need like
Growing
a
up-
bottle of water."
growing up, our family would be like, "All right, so we're going on vacation. We're going to this place, and it's a very long drive, like a very long drive." And we'd wake up at like 4, 5 in the morning ish. Sometimes, maybe even earlier, depending on how far it was. And then we'd drive all day long. So it'd be like a 9+ hour drive, 12+ hour drive. So would Europeans do that kind of prep work as waking up like before the sun rises? Probably not.
No, I don't think so. They'd probably wake up a little earlier, but I don't think they would wake up like sunrise.
I get up at sunrise just to go to work.
See, we never, when we go over to your house, which growing up, which was 9 hours away, basically 10 with stops included.
Yeah, but that's because your family takes a lot of stops.
Well, it's not that we take a lot of stops; it's that we take an hour stop at Chick-fil-A and sit and eat.
Oh, I thought I said 10 stops, and I was like,
Oh, 10
gosh.
hours.
Yeah.
Yeah, 10 hours with stops included. And so we would wake up at like 8, leave at like 8. No, we would try and leave at 8. We usually try and leave at 8 o'clock. So we wake up at like 7, get everything loaded, leave about 8:15, and we get there at like 5. Usually when we get there. which I don't know how. What is that? That sounds like it's 7 hours, but I think I'm forgetting 11 and 12
Wait, to their house?
p.m. or a.m. Yeah.
I don't know.
I can't.
Well, we lose an hour.
Oh, that's right. We lose an hour.
Because of the
I
time
will
zones.
talk-
America is divided into 3 time zones, correct?
Yes.
4.
4? Okay.
We got
Yes.
Pacific, Mountain,
Oh,
then Central, and Eastern.
Yeah.
So you have 4.
okay. Including
And
the
then Arizona.
main continent, excluding Hawaii and Alaska. Sorry, Hawaii and Alaska.
Oh, yeah, there's that.
The
So-
lower 48.
Yeah. So Europe is divided into how many time zones?
Let's see. There's British time, German time, and then like 4 time zones. Yeah, 4 or 5 time zones.
Okay, so like our country has just as many time zones as a
England.
continent.
Because we are a continental nation. That was our whole shtick back in the day.
Somebody from England. I don't
Like
remember if
there's
it was...
also Canada and Mexico,
Yeah.
which is part of our continent.
Well, Mexico doesn't really count
I don't remember if it was...
because Panama is a
Oh my
continental country.
Aren't they
technically.
like in between us and South America, or am I wrong? So
Yeah, you're right.
They are the split.
It's Central America, technically, but that doesn't technically count as
Oh.
a continent.
Anyway,
So-
you were saying something.
Yes, I was saying something. So yeah, I don't remember who it was, but if some British guy, I can't even remember if somebody I knew or somebody online, but they're like, wait, there's more than one time zone in your country? It's the same country but different time zone? What? Yeah, that's just
Yeah.
funny.
We got 4 of them.
Also, when I went to a worship school thing in California, there were people from all over the world there. Met this British guy. He was really cute, but now he's engaged, so... Or he might be married now, but anyway.
he was cute until he got engaged.
No.
And he became ugly.
I mean, he's still cute, but I can't say that about a married man. But anyway...
It's just weirder then.
It's just weirder then. But anyway, him and some other people, they're like, wait, you guys flew here when you live in the same country? Like, yeah. And some people flew, it was Northern California. Some people flew from Southern California just to get, because otherwise it would be a good 7-hour drive and they just didn't want to do it. So, and they're like, whoa. Yeah. Also, British guy, his name is Ben. Shout out, Ben. And not that he'd ever listen to this, but anyway. Oh yeah, we went swimming in a lake that was there in California. Like everybody who went to that worship school was invited to go swimming at this lake. We get in the water, like me and this group of friends that I made there, and he was like, "The water feels weird." We're like, "Really? How?" And he's like, it's warm. That's why it feels weird. It's warm." I guess all the bodies of water in England are cold.
Freezing. Absolutely freezing.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, it's like going swimming in a lake in Newfoundland.
Yeah, no,
Okay.
thank you.
Here's the thing to think about though. Whenever you watch a movie or show that's based in England, usually they open it up with dark scenery and it's raining.
Yes.
Like that's what
that's
Americans
England.
think about whenever we think about
That is
England.
great.
I think that's what Englanders think of whenever they think about England.
So it's like, especially like when you think of Liverpool in the Beatles, I just think of like, oh, early stage of the Beatles' career, Liverpool. Rainy and gloomy.
I
Yeah.
think of a
Yep.
I think of a pool of liver, like when Nanny's about to make
me too.
liver and onions, and when she's soaking the liver in milk. That's what comes to my mind.
Yep.
I want to talk about something. We keep getting emails on not our questions email, which please send us questions, please.
Have you checked it for this podcast? Did we get
I checked it earlier today. I'll check it again, but I want to talk about. We keep getting emails from on our like main email, like the email that I set up so that we can like talk to like other professional podcasters and whatever. And it's you keep getting emails on there from people trying to get us to use their like resources to like find people to interview.
Oh.
And like basically like a dating app but for podcasts.
Should we do that with a dating app? Should we just put our podcast on a dating app?
Oh my gosh, we should
Dating
looking for
podcast.
people to interview.
Do that on Tinder. Probably get a sponsorship from Tinder, honestly. I don't know if we want one.
I don't know if that's a
either.
moral thing for us to do.
I think
that is my question for Josh.
we oh
Would
my
you say
gosh,
is that moral?
I could make another dating account and we could interview whatever loser guy matches with me again.
Absolutely.
Oh my
Anyway.
gosh.
So yeah, I keep getting emails from other people. I was reading this email. I'm like, this has to be a bot. They're like, hey, I found the Unusable Podcasts on Apple Podcasts. As a fellow podcaster, I wanted to reach out and connect. Yada 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 yada. I was like, this is a bot. There's no way this is not a bot. This is totally a bot. But I just realized earlier, while I was reading this email again, at the very bottom it says, P.S. I am a real person sending this email, and you're not on a mailing list. And I was like, oh, and then it goes, but if you don't like hearing from me, click here to let me know. And I was like, how many people have clicked that link? How many people have clicked that link? And he just looks at it, he's like, dang it, man.
Oh.
Or it's
Or is
actually
it-
a bot, and they're just like,
Or is it one of those
Checking you.
links that just brings you to a page that's just going to put a virus on your phone?
you see, that would be a really good scam.
Well, yeah, but that happens all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why I'm like, I just am not going to click on any of the links on this email because there's plenty of them. Because I don't want to get a virus on my phone. I had a scare with that like a week ago. I had to change my emails.
Oh, fun.
Or not my emails, my Apple account several times because I clicked on a website and immediately after it was like, sign in with your your Apple account. And I was like, why? And I closed everything. Oh yeah, it did that. And then it used Google Chrome to search stuff. It crashed.
Oh.
And I was like, that's weird. And so I immediately turned off my Wi-Fi, close everything, turn off my phone, turn it back on, and then my phone was still like, sign in with your Apple account. And I was like, no.
Oh dear.
So I got on
See,
my
when
computer.
something like that with
and-
your phone happens,
yeah.
I feel like I'm battling some kind of witch. 'Cause it's like I feel
it's-
violated and I'm like fighting some demonic force. Because it's scary.
It's-
When technology craps out and does something weird like that, it feels like Stranger Things.
I started researching it because I was like, this is scary. Started researching it. And it was like, oh yeah, if it gives you that pop-up, that means that you've changed your password and you need to re-enter it. I'm like, I didn't do that. That's weird. So I logged in on my computer, which was sketchy because the security codes weren't working for a second. That was terrifying. And eventually I got it working, got it on my computer, changed the password, logged in on my phone, changed the password again, and just locked the whole thing down.
Dude,
But that was
technology is
terrifying.
Very scary now that I think about it. Like, if you think about how like the internet is, it's essentially like the Wild West or like
Seriously.
some uncharted land.
And
it's
that's
like-
why we're sponsored by our good buddies at NordVPN. No, I'm kidding.
We're not, but we'd love to be. So
I don't
Nord,
know. I haven't done any research on VPNs. But I heard that Nord is pretty good. So, and you sponsor my favorite YouTuber, or at least one of my favorite YouTubers, Oversimplified. So I might.
They
I'm
probably
not
did
shooting
something
for
with
that.
JonTron, and I know PewDiePie did something with them. And I'm pretty sure PewDiePie is like one of those YouTubers that's like, I'm not going to support a company that I don't actually back up and actually like.
Yeah.
So if PewDiePie is like, yeah, they're good, then chances are they're good.
Probably. Yeah. NordVPN, sponsor us. I'd love to have a VPN because I'm currently not using. Did I say that on the podcast? I don't know.
I have a hacker story from this week.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. So
Did someone hack into the school?
No.
Dang it.
Unfortunately. Actually, that happened a few weeks ago. There's an app that parents and teachers use, but I'm not on it because I'm just a sub. But somebody hacked it and posted an inappropriate picture on there, and they had to shut the whole app down for a while.
Nice.
But no, that's not the story I was going to tell. So one of our friends on Facebook, he's pretty technology illiterate, unfortunately, but his account got actually hacked. Not just they made a duplicate account. No, they took over his account and changed his name and the picture to some girl's name. All of a sudden I'm getting this message that says, "Hey, handsome." And I'm like, what?
Oof. Oof.
I know. Oof.
A bot called you a man.
It's not the first time. But I went on and I see my messages because this person messaged me every so often. I never respond, but he'll send me videos or something. But so I see that conversation. So I'm like, oh, this was that guy's account. But it's definitely been hacked. So I'm like, why did you hack my friend's account? And he's like, no, I did not, or I didn't. He gave me a true fan. I'm like, what? And I was like,
that is the most broken English.
I know.
I understand what they're saying.
Yeah.
But that is.
Wait, I archived
the
I reported and blocked them, but I archived the conversation, so maybe I can find it.
I had a friend who got his Discord account hacked.
Oh dear.
There's a thing where you can log in from a computer with your phone using a QR code. And so what some people will do is they'll have you scan in your QR code to quote unquote unlock a Discord server to kind of trick you. And one of my friends did that. And immediately, basically what it did, took over his account and then sent in literally every single direct chat or direct message, it sent a link to that server. So it's just this bot that was getting insane amounts of accounts.
Oof.
And I was like, that's terrifying.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, there's the company I work for, their social media, or at least, I don't know if it was their social media account or if it was just somebody that works at the social media account, got their account hacked on, I think, Instagram. Which, that's kind of scary, especially whenever it's business related.
Mm.
But yeah, there's been a lot of hacking and slashing and
I think
computer.
it's China and Russia.
Okay, I found the conversation. So she goes, or it goes, "Hello, handsome," and I go, "Why'd you hack my friend's account?" She goes, "No, I did not. He gave me as a real fan of mine." I said, that makes no sense. Besides, I'm not a guy, so IDK who you're calling handsome. It goes, "Can we know each other better?" And I sent the gif of Squidward saying, "No, thank you," to SpongeBob and going inside the Krusty Krab. And it just goes, "Okay." And that's when I reported and blocked.
Sad. Wait, can you show me? Oh, you closed it already.
I can find it again.
See, I was always
I
told
want
that
to see
you shouldn't
who
even respond.
Oh, it's a changed name
bots.
though, right?
Yeah, it's a change.
Oh, okay, never mind.
But
I was told you shouldn't even respond to bots because sometimes they can work with I don't know, your signals and get information. I'm like, I don't know about that, but okay.
yeah,
Who's named Mercedes?
I met a couple of girls named Mercedes.
There's a leather company known as Mercedes.
Oh, I know who this is. I just scrolled up into the chat.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
Uh-huh.
I wonder if I'm friends with this hacker now.
Probably.
Wait, I don't know. Maybe. That's that is an ugly girl.
Right.
The
Let me
picture
see.
is pretty ugly. It's not like a picture, so you can't zoom
Such
in.
a small profile picture. Like if India supported heavy rock, like metal bands, that's what she looks like.
She looks like the
That's
lead
not
singer
a
of a
compliment,
techno
by
band.
the way. Yeah, she looks bizarre.
It's a little wild. Sorry that's an actual human person that exists. Roasting the heck out of you.
You know what? People think you're pretty. You're not. You're not my taste.
It looks like it might be a drag queen. But
Yeah, that's what it kind of looked like to me.
yeah.
You see, it's such a small profile picture. I can't even tell. It just looks like this. Like
You are an old
blob.
man, and you need new glasses.
Hold on, I can get.
It might be that
Here's a
problem.
bigger picture.
It's just, it looks like a gray and brown.
Because you couldn't
blob.
read the menu at Sushi today, so.
I could read it. It's
I
just
don't even.
super small.
Whoa. Can't say that.
Oh. At the generic sushi
No,
place.
at the sushi place that Tobias works at.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
We
referencing
saw
episode
Tobias
one.
today.
Wait,
They're doing
Tobias was
fine.
there?
Yeah, it
Tobias
just
is
looks
there.
okay.
Oh.
Here's the thing: I can read it. It's just when things are that small, it's like I question if I'm actually reading what I think I'm reading.
It wasn't small.
It
It
was
wasn't
small.
hard to read. It was
Well,
like,
the ingredients were small. Like,
Yeah, that's what
ingredients.
I was trying to read. Is the ingredients.
oh, okay.
I can read everything else.
There were also the background was black, and they were like a light gray,
yeah.
so it wasn't very contrasting.
I'm trying to figure out what's going on here with her outfit. Like, I think she's on stage, but it does look like a woman.
It's pretty drag queen to me.
It could
it's
be
gaudy.
either way.
It's gaudy like drag queen, but the problem with drag queens is that men never actually look like women until they start like.
Oh, I've seen a
going-
few pictures. So,
Look, I've seen some people that are almost convincing,
mhm.
but it's just like I don't know if it's a spiritual thing in me or what, but it's like I could look and be like,
That's man.
it's
Here,
like,
I
oh,
zoomed in for you.
you're not equipped for this kind of work.
Yeah.
Okay, she does have more of a masculine face.
Yeah.
There's that, but
It could just be how she looks.
her
I don't know,
outfit,
It's 50-50.
her outfit
Okay.
is disguising enough that it could be.
It's a very
But
flashy
it's hard to
outfit.
tell.
We are talking about something visual on a podcast. No one can see this.
True.
Okay, do we want to talk about drag queens?
Okay, so basically it's
No.
It's not a good idea.
I'm going to presume a girl with a very flashy, like shiny, reflective
it
kinda
hides your
dress or something.
It hides your shape
It's
very
like-
well.
Camouflage for shapes. It's very, and she has blue hair, blue like straight hair.
It's like
heavy
midnight
makeup.
blue.
I don't know, kind of tan.
She's
skin
very
color.
tan,
She's very
like
tan.
Hershey's chocolate tan.
But not black. Like you could tell that she was either like Hispanic or white.
She looked Hispanic, plausibly Indian, maybe.
She might be like an Indian pop star.
That's very possible. That'd explain a lot, actually.
You are like wrenching on that cable, Gabe.
It's not my fault that you didn't clip it onto the bar.
I'm sorry. I did everything else for you.
Look,
okay,
you're the
we
guy
should
that
talk
sets
about
stuff
that.
up.
I'm so tired right now. When I was setting up Gabe's mic, he was sitting in his chair already, and I was like, okay, here you go, Gabe. You can plug it in and get it set up. And all he said was, if I plug it in, will it start a feedback thing? And I guess my brain, without thinking, was like, that's such a stupid question. I should just do it for him.
Okay, would it do
'Cause-
that if it was hooked up to a speaker?
It would pop really loudly, yes.
That's what I was talking
Yeah.
about. Yeah.
Here's the thing. I think what's happened is I've been doing sound all weekend,
Yep.
which I'm not going to really talk about, but basically I did sound for a church play thing,
An event.
a revival, like a tent revival thing.
You already
I did
said too
sound for 'em.
much.
And it was very good, and I love them. Love running sound for them. I love that I could crank the basses to insanely loud. It was amazing. Shout out to all you guys out there. You know who you are. But I've been doing that now whenever someone asks me a stupid question, I'm just like, I'm gonna do it, make sure it gets done right.
Like, that's
For some
fair.
reason it just like triggered my brain when you said, well, it start feedback, that I was just like, yeah, you lost your plugging in a microphone rights.
Granted, I would do probably I might do the same thing
If it was something
like,
that you were passionate about and you knew a lot about, and then someone asked you a slightly stupid question while you were tired, you would probably just do it for them.
yeah. Like, if Seth asked me something about leathercraft that is just like really stupid, I'd be like, oh, I'd like to explain this to you, but I just don't have the patience for this at the moment.
Yeah. I want to talk about something because I didn't talk about it for the past 2 weeks, which, the reason why we're recording this from the day it comes out, the night before, the reason why we're recording it this late, because we don't usually record it this late, we usually record it like the week before, is because the episode we recorded turned out bad. It was not good. So, we scrapped it. But it's been like 2 weeks now where I meant to talk about how my chair for 2 weeks did not have armrests or a back to it. It was just a stool. Like a nice
swivel
office
stool.
chair that was just a stool. Yeah, spinny stool. It was actually pretty fun. I have the armrest back on now, have the back on, because I couldn't deal with it for 3 weeks. But yeah, I meant to talk about it for 2 weeks and I didn't, and I just kept it in that very horrible, uncomfortable state for 2 weeks and never talked about it. But basically the story behind it was I was playing games with Gabe's brother, Cyrus, shout out to you. And he was like, I was complaining about how my armrests get in the way of sliding into my desk. And Cyrus was like, why don't you just take the armrests off? And I was like, you know what? That's a great idea. So I go to do that. I start unscrewing the armrests. Turns out the armrests were the only things that were holding up the backrest. And so the backrest just fell off. And I was like, well, I guess I have a stool now. That's nice. It actually wasn't bad. I could like kind of do a cross-legged sitting position pretty comfortably. It wasn't terrible, but it definitely wasn't comfortable, especially editing the podcast. That's when it was the worst because I like to lean back and I couldn't do that.
You know what I want to theorize?
What?
There might be a way for us to get the armrests that keep the back in place, and just
like cut the armrest part of it off.
take the one on the left side and put it on the right side on the left, but put them upside down so they're facing down.
No, that won't work because of the way that they are.
Yeah, I don't think the holes would line up, but I was brainstorming. I'm like, if there's a way that like the geometry of the design of the chair would allow you to basically lower or remove the armrest pieces.
Yeah, that'd be nice. I'm just gonna buy an office chair where you can remove the armrest, or just one that doesn't have armrests.
Anybody
So I
who
need
has
to.
a PewDiePie chair, if you donate it to the podcast, we will basically be your servants for the next podcast.
I don't know about that.
We will promote Slave Chocolate Company that we talked about.
We'll promote Tony's Chocolonely forever.
Yeah.
That's just, I mean, no doubt about that one.
Yes, go buy some Tony's Chocolonely chocolate because they are working to end the use of slaves in the production of chocolate. I'm sure they're also, trying to end slavery and production of other things too, but they make chocolate, so chocolate is probably their top concern.
Probably.
because 90 or I'm pulling that number out of my butt, but like 90% of the world's chocolate production is made using slave labor. And that's no good. So anyway, I think it's about time to wrap it up. Very usable.
I'm gonna fall asleep.
Very usable, possibly unusable actually, because we're tired.
Yeah, it might have been boring.
It might have been boring. I don't know. Could be completely
we talked
unusable.
about quite a bit.
We did.
I don't know.
You know what? I'm starting to think that the reason why we have such a hard time with Seth on the podcast is because he's A, random, and B, in a weird way, boring.
Yes. Yeah, Gabe. Yeah, Seth. I'm so tired. Yeah, Seth. You're awful, and you're off the podcast.
We're joking, but
We're joking.
I'm kind of not joking about it.
Look, you gotta step up your game, Seth.
The
Both
problem
in
is that
scheduling
Seth
and
is fun
entertainment.
to be around. The problem is that Seth is not fun to listen to.
Okay.
He's someone that you have to witness and like be around.
Kind of true. Anyway,
Part of the problem is also that he tries to be funny, and when he's trying to be funny, he's not funny. But as soon as he stops trying to be funny, he's actually funny.
Yeah,
that's actually kind of facts. Seth, stop trying. Anyway, this is unusable
stop
now.
trying
This
in
is
general.
terrible.
Give up.
This is unusable. Bye. I'm going to sleep. I think the rest. Oh wait, I can't go to
Yeah.
sleep. I have to edit.
I'm
have
going
work
to
tomorrow.
sleep. I have to do school. I'm avoiding work, but doing school.
I wish I had
Right.
that flexibility.
Yeah, be a sub. You'll have flexibility. And children will hate you. It's great. Or they'll love you and walk all over you.
You sort of have to have that happy medium where it's like you're in charge and they know you're in charge, but you also are like the fun teacher that they like being
Yeah,
around.
I'm working on it. But there's too many kids that have seen Just the Fun Me and are like, oh, sweet, it's this sub again. We can do whatever we want.
Put them in a headlock and like bash them against the wall.
I think I'd get another call from the principal. if I
Like,
did
Should
that.
we
That's
talk
what they
about how
did
I
at-
dropped a child today?
That's what they did at my school, and it was great.
Talk about how I dropped a child today.
What?
I dropped a child.
Oh, I thought you said you adopted a child. And I'm like, when did this happen? Like, that's a long process.
I don't know which one's worse, adopting a child or dropping a child.
Well, when you adopt a child, you adopt them because someone dropped them from their
Oh.
lives.
This is
Anyway,
true.
so
Sometimes it's accidental because their parents like
died.
died.
Anyway,
They dropped life.
That is extremely dark.
Sorry.
No, that's pretty much my fault.
crazy. Anyway, so I dropped a child. Basically, before church today, during sound check and practice and whatnot, our friend, he's 5, Daniel, I believe he's 5. He's either 5 or 6. Daniel, he was like, "Hey, Josiah, I want to show you something." And I was like, "Okay." And he was like, "But I have to be on your shoulders." And I was like, "Okay." So I put him up on my shoulders, and he's like, "Okay, watch this." And he throws himself backwards. And I was not holding on to his legs very tightly. And he throws himself backwards, and I like catch his feet. And then he like lifts himself up with just like his core muscles. I didn't like help him back up much at all, except for like pull his legs back down to like where they're supposed to be. And he just like went up with his core muscles. And he was like, "Isn't that cool?" And I was like, "Yeah, sure, that's cool." And then he did it again without warning me. And he did it like 3 times harder than he did the first time. He flung himself backwards. And you know, I'm not super tall, but I'm decently tall, and I'm not like super heavy, so I'm not like grounded.
You're about as tall as me, about like 5'8" or so.
I'm like 5'9".
5'8", 5'9".
I'm 5'9", 5'10 ish. Yeah, I'm slightly taller than you.
Yeah, I just got compressed from all the construction work I've done. It just broke my back and my
that
will.
actually might be true.
It probably is, to be honest. Like,
Probably straight facts. So he flings himself forward, and I don't have the greatest balance on the planet, and it was very fast, and I wasn't expecting it. It was early in the morning, so I just kind of fell backwards. I was like trying really hard not to. Took a couple steps backwards because I didn't want him to hit his head. So I wanted him to have enough time to like kind of pull himself back up before I fell, because that was inevitable. And so I fell backwards, and I immediately like kind of get up, turn around, and I'm like, please don't be dead. Don't be dead. Please tell me you didn't paralyze yourself. Please tell me you didn't like just
Break your
land
neck.
on your neck and break your neck and die, or
see,
crack
part
your
of the
head open,
problem
or both.
may be that he does that with his father. His father,
I don't think he
is-
does that with his dad.
you don't
Maybe.
think
He does it with somebody. Maybe
Like,
his
I
brother.
guess,
so?
yeah.
Surely, but it's
'Cause he
like
knew he
if
could do it.
if he does that kind of thing with his dad is like 7 foot tall or something like that.
Not that tall.
But
Okay,
he's
He's like
over
6'5".
he's tall and stocky, like he's a big guy.
Yeah.
So for him, that's no problem.
And he's expecting it.
Even
Probably
if
bracing for it.
yeah, and so it's like that's no problem for him.
Yeah.
But because he's 5, he doesn't like discern the fact that
Someone
that's
might be
not
a little
normal thing
weaker.
everyone else does.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah. And then I turn around and he's like kind of starting to like curl up, and he puts his hand on his mid back, and I'm like, "Oh, thank God he didn't break his neck." Cuz I see him do that and I'm like, "Okay. You did like he's not like not moving, and he's also not like screaming."
He did cry, but it took him a minute to start.
Yeah, it took him actually quite a while to start crying. And he yeah, I heard like he hurt his back pretty bad, but like he's a child, he'll be fine. But
Yeah.
also like, yay, he didn't break anything. And so
Yeah, 'cause
I
it's,
just
like,
like pick him up and I
hardwood
grab him. I'm like checking his head, making sure he's not bleeding, and it's, get him to like look at me and stuff. And then his sister takes him, and then his brother takes him out of his sister. They're just passing him around. I don't know
Yeah.
what they're doing.
He eventually went and sat with Anne.
Yeah, sat with Anne and just kind of cried, which is probably good. And then I gave him a package of fruit snacks because I felt bad. And also I got fruit snacks from out of a volunteer like trailer that was at the thing I was helping out with. And so I don't know if y'all knew that people who are over there, I won't say your names because I didn't ask if I could, but I
He's
took
referencing
several
the,
snacks.
revival thing. That
The
he said
revival
earlier.
thing that I did this weekend. Yeah, I took several snacks. I took like 2 fruit snacks and 2 of those like granola bars, because those granola bars are delicious.
What if somebody like contacts you and is like, "Listen, you had too many snacks. You're only allowed to." Like,
I ate a lot of snacks. I think I ate like 10 of those granola bars because I
Nice.
love them. And I ate like 5 packets of fruit snacks at
Oh
least.
my gosh.
And then I ate a sandwich from there, which I was offered,
You were there for like
and a
all day
bag
though.
of chips. Yeah, I was there for all day, and then 4 to like 10 Thursday and Friday. So it was a lot. It's super fun though. Anyway, I meant to end this podcast 10 minutes ago, and now we're here.
Yeah.
But good night, guys.
Thanks
Good
for
night.
listening.
We can't use any of this.
No.
No.
It's mostly good.
We might have to cut out a lot.
I don't know.
Yeah, especially by that part about Jeff Bezos. Like, I'm sure he's listening.
Yeah, that was bad.
The CIA
Bye-bye.
might be listening to some of it.